baby, it's the captain here. Welcome to All About the Bass.
Hello.
I do love the Korg Elect Drive. If only I knew what any of the buttons did. Anyway,
It saves us a lot of time.
it would save us a lot of time. There's a lot of background humming here. Let me just.
Oh, don't worry about that.
No, we're not going to worry about that. I apologise.
Nobody can hear
We've
it.
got a speaker over here and a speaker over here
It's
and all sorts of
fine.
stuff. But anyway, welcome to All About the Bass. My name's Lee.
I'm Nathan.
He is indeed. And this week, I'm not doing that gag again.
No.
We're looking at the LR Baggs Stadium DI, which is a pretty understated sort of, relatively simple product with a professional price tag. And obviously is designed for, I guess, bass players who need a stadium DI box.
Yeah. Or a DI box.
Or a DI box. So we've plugged Nathan's bass into this side. The XLR cable coming out the top here is going direct into our interface, and that is all you will be hearing for this entire video.
Yeah.
And the other side is going into this Ashdown bass amplifier here. And obviously we're hearing that. So ignore the microphone in front of it. I'm
This is
pretty
just for our
sure we're
benefit.
not using this.
No, we're not.
You're
No,
hearing
forget that.
just this straight into the DI. So tell me, Nate, just we've done pedals with DI outputs and stuff, but why do bass players like to use pedals with DIs live and in the studio?
Okay. Well, these days, there's a couple of reasons. Mainly, if you wanted to maybe not use an amp, if you're using in-ear monitors, then this would come in really useful. So you could literally just plug in there, DI to the front of the house, and then your monitor guy could just send you back your bass sound in your ears. So you've got no amp on stage. Sometimes that's a requirement. Sometimes people don't want any amps on stage anymore. So you'd use it for that, or maybe you just want to use it in low end, like we are. I don't know. Maybe your amplifier hasn't got a good quality DI out on it.
Yeah.
And that's what this does. This sends your DI straight to the front of house guy again, which will make him very happy.
But it seems to me that bass players are quite different to guitar players on that front, because whereas the guitar player is either using their expensive amp and cab, or they've spent a ton of money on some sort of speaker emulated output, the 2 notes torpedo or something like that. Bass players seem to get a perfectly good sound. Arguably even a better sound by just not going anywhere near an amp at all, just like boom straight into the
well
the
that's
desk.
very true. I mean, very often in live and in the studio, what the punter ends up hearing is really a DI bass signal, because a lot of engineers just prefer to work with that. The massive amps and stuff on stage, mostly for for the bass player to hear what he's doing.
Yeah.
And on a big stage, you're not really going to hear too much of the amp. Hopefully, anyway, it's going to be what's coming out of the PA. Hence the whole DI thing.
So LR Baggs, I've known about LR Baggs for a long time, although their background's all been in acoustic pickups and preamps. And they say in the blurb that although they do pickups and stuff for acoustic bass as well as a whole load of other acoustic instruments, this product was actually designed by their engineering team entirely for personal use. They literally was just they needed well done, what did you just press? The mute button.
If only there was a way.
If only there was a way.
So you can tell I'm concentrating on what you're saying.
This is why we get the professionals into these videos, you see.
I was starting to nod off. And then in the middle of my dream, I thought, I'll just press that mute button. That'll quieten it down a bit. Carry on.
So this was built by their engineering department, actually entirely for personal use. It was never really intended to go into production. It was just one of the engineers went, I need this gadget for my live rig. And
that's what it says, doesn't it, in the blurb?
Yeah, and they thought, it's a cool product, so let's put it into production. So really, really simple. In no particular order, I will take you through the sort of the knobs and buttons and features, and then we'll hear it a bit more. So we've talked about how we've plugged it in. On this side is a little switch that is a ground lift. On this side is a little sort of +4 to -10 padded output control. We are running this on phantom power, so what we're doing is we're taking a 48 volt phantom power signal from the interface, and so we're powering it through this XLR cable here, but it does take batteries or a 9 volt power supply as well, so whatever suits you.
So shall I just for anybody that doesn't know all the technical stuff? You were talking about a padded or a boosted output. Basically, that's going to make your level louder or quieter through this XLR output.
Yeah.
So depending on what's on the other end, your engineer might want it louder or quieter. So that's
I think a lot of it is if it's going to go into like a mic pre or if it's just going to go into a line level and stuff like that, isn't it? You can sort of line match it essentially.
That's right. Yeah, and the ground lift thing very often with guitars and stuff, you end up with what's called an earth loop, and it just generates a really nasty electrical noise. And that's what this is supposed to alleviate.
It's where you've got multiple products plugged into the mains, isn't it? And by connecting them all up together with guitar leads, you end up with a buzz. And
it happens a lot on stage because you're constantly in different venues and different environments, and that can just be a really useful thing.
So as well as being really, really sturdily built and very attractive looking, we've got a volume control up here with a fat switch on the side, and the fat switch is tuned to 150 hertz and will either give you 0 dB effect, so no boost, a 3 dB boost, or a 6 dB boost at that level.
150 hertz is your bottom end.
Is low. Input gain here with a VU meter next to it, so you can again match it to the bass that you're using.
That's handy. VU.
Yep. Attack, which is I'm not sure if attack is entirely the word that I would use for it, but it's essentially it's a like a tone control essentially. So like a darker, more muted sound as you turn it down, and a brighter, punchier sound as you turn it up.
Sounds like a tone control to me.
It sounds a lot like a tone control, doesn't it? Growl, which is two function. It's a sort of Growl, I think, is a good description. So on its own, it just adds that kind of a bit more balls without necessarily being distorted. And if I press the drive button in, it converts that into a more traditional distortion control. And then we have a 3-band compressor, which is sort of the way they've designed it is the more you dig in, so the harder you hit the notes, the more the compressor will take effect, and the softer you hit the notes, the more open and natural it will sound.
Yeah, and it's a 3-band compressor as well, so it has 3 different compressors that work depending on what frequency range you're playing.
Nice. So what I'm going to do is I've turned the pedal off. You can see this nice chunky switch on the front here with the orange on and off light. I've turned it off. So you can hear straight into the DI what Nathan's bass would sound like if all we did was plug it straight into a mic strip on there, and or channel strip on the DAW, and that's it. So let's have a little listen.
Okay. So
mute here.
So this is just clean.
Yeah. So we don't really know what we only know what it sounds like through here. We don't know what it sounds like through the desk, but you all have heard that. Probably very clean and arguably perhaps a bit sterile sounding, but or you might go, that's the best sound you've had all day, in which case don't buy any of the kit that we're trying to sell in these videos. Just plug your stuff straight in and be happy. Yeah. So let's right, so first and foremost, I'm going to switch it on, and I'm just going to play around with the fat switch and the attack controls to give you some idea of what the EQ will do, whilst Pete makes suggestive remarks behind the camera.
My peripheral vision.
Go. Beautiful. Well, you heard that last sort of 5 seconds or so. I just turned the pedal off, so hopefully you got a nice refresher as to whether or not, you know, what it sounded like without the pedal right at the beginning and at the end. It's quite it's very, to use a sort of an overused word in the pedal market, it's very transparent sounding, I think. It doesn't feel like it's completely changing the sort of the tone of your bass. It's just, you know, making nice subtle changes to you know, to the attack of and I quite liked it. It's suggested in the manual that you do a bit of almost jazzy kind of, you know, it would give you that more rolled back tone, not so much fretless thing, but just like that sort of softer jazzy thing. So can we hear a bit sort of
yeah. Like a tone control.
Yeah, it's
really
nice. Okay, so we'll put that back to sort of, it's got a centre detente on there, so I guess that's detente.
Like that.
Let's do, what do you want to do next? Drive or
Yeah,
growl?
we got the fat in, have we, or are you halfway?
I'm
on the
halfway
fat?
on the fat. That's my favourite. Well, you decide. So here's no fatness.
Okay.
Maximum fatness. I like the middle one.
Okay.
I like the middle one. So growl, let's go through growl without the drive button engaged first, because that then gives you your, as I said, more ballsy, sort of less driven sort of tone. So here we go. Let's just do some real quick. Here's bass straight into the DAW. Sometimes does it need a little bit, as you bring the growl in, it's taking some of the top end off, I think, isn't it? So we should maybe just add a little bit of attack, maybe. So if we then combine the growl control with the drive button here, then it becomes a more traditional overdrive kind of effect. So let's just do that again. Start playing. Gonna throw it out there. Not my favourite drive sound we've had out of a pedal.
Right.
It's it sounds like it's, I don't know what it's doing into the DAW. It sounds a little bit like overloaded to me.
Okay.
With,
Well, it'd be interesting to hear it back.
We will. We shall hear it back.
On what's recorded.
So I prefer the growl sound without the drive button engaged. But again, I suppose it's all to taste, isn't it? It might sound amazing straight in. You never know. We'll find out. We're going to listen back to it, I think, afterwards, and then we'll do our conclusion after we've listened back.
Okay.
Right, so here's the compressor. So I'm going to keep the sound clean now, and again the fat position halfway up, and I'll just throw in the compressor as you're playing. So better turn the pedal on.
Yes, that would help.
That always helps. Yeah, go. Like that, especially all the way up, it seemed to do some sort of tone sculpting thing as well, where it's sort of a little bit like sometimes when you press the shape button in on an amplifier, you just get that little, maybe just a smidgen out the mid-range bit, and it just sort of smooths it out a bit.
That's the multi-band compressor thing. That's how that works. It analyses it over 3 different frequencies.
I liked that. I liked that. So we'll have a final bit of sort of playthrough stuff with me now, just using all 3, like the attack, the growl, the fat, the combo. It's 4 or 5 different sounds. I'll just mix and match and see what I kind of get that I like.
Okay.
Then we'll go and have a listen, and then we'll come back and we'll kind of tell you what we thought of the the sound.
How exciting!
It's exciting. We've never done that before, have we?
No.
And then, let me out! Get back in the box, Alec. Let me out! We might have a bit more Korg Electron.
Yeah.
Go. Right, let's just see what I can do. See what we can find.
All right?
Yeah. Definitely a fan of the Growl, not so much a fan of the Drive.
Okay.
Big fan of the Compressor.
Yeah.
Really like the look of the pedal as well. It's nice, looks cool. Looks like it's been made out of all premium bits and bobs.
It does look very nice. And also...
Oh yes. Well remembered.
Look, you get a beautiful case with it.
You do. What kind of stuff? What's that a case from? What do you normally get? That was like when you used to buy your old CD Walkmans, wasn't it, and stuff like that. Back in the day,
yeah.
You got a little case like that with it.
There you go. And that company thought it was going to go out of business until the old bags got in touch with them.
They thought, well, no.
So we'll have 20, please.
So there we are. Oh, we get a little user guide. What have we forgotten to tell you from the user guide? I must admit, if you want a slightly hilarious laugh at marketing speak, go and read what they've written on their website about this, because it does read like Nigella Lawson or someone like that.
Give us an example.
No, I'm not going to give you an example. You can go and read it for yourself. So there we go. So that's the LR Bag Stadium DI. Oh no, we've got to go and listen to it, haven't we? Let's go and listen. So we've just had
We're back.
We've had a quick listen, and I think all it's really done is, well, first and foremost, it sounds great on the the bits that the clean sound. There's a real wideness and openness to the sound that I really, really like, and I think it's reinforced what I thought. I definitely think it sounds better than it sounds coming out of the amplifier.
For sure, yeah. No, it sounds really, really nice coming back off the computer.
Yeah, but I think all the criticisms that we made of it whilst we were playing with it, maybe with the drive being not the nicest drive pedal I've ever heard, I sort of really just reinforced when we listened to it back on the DAW.
Maybe if you want a nice overdrive, go and buy a different overdrive.
I bet you
the Growl's good.
You just run another pedal into this. Just have two pedals on your board and put a different drive pedal in.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Growl sounds great. The compressor is my favourite bit, and I like the fat boost. I think that's quite subtle but nicely tuned. So I like it, and I like I know it's going to sound terribly irrelevant.
Yeah.
I think it looks cool.
It does.
Engage.
I like the fact that this is engage.
Engage.
That's to turn it on.
Yes.
That's what the on switch is. Engage.
Engage.
Yeah, it's cool.
So that's it. So there's I'll put a link in the description section below about where you can find out more about this on our website and buy one if you would wish to. But yes. dun 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 dun.
Here it comes.
Which one did we say we were going to do? Because we've done.
Well, you're just
I
going
really
through every
like-
single pattern.
No,
and
I
then when
really
I just
like-
get something happening, you change it.
No. This is the one I wrote a song. Well, I say wrote a song. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, you know,
You can't claim any creative.
Yeah, when I say wrote a song, I mean press play on a preset.
Yeah.
But I think it was, isn't it?